Hello, welcome to This Thing's Got Problems. I'm Eric, and the thing that has problems today is that C10 right there. We're back on the metal work. They did the passenger door. Came out all right. It's time to do the driver's side, and I'm going to show you what's going on here. So, and there's flies. There's so many flies. I don't know why. So here's some progress. Yeah, if you notice, there used to be a little speaker hole right there. Gone. Redid all of that on the inside and the outside. Got did a fair job of seam sealing and throwing on the Make Rust Stop spray stuff. So hopefully that'll do its thing. I'll show you the other side, I guess. And there's that. No body work yet. It's just, metal primer. Moving back on to over there. See, here's my problem with this. It seems fine. I don't know what's under there. Previous owner did this. I don't think they had patch panels then. So the other side just had some sheet metal just kind of wrapped around and it was undone. So I just, and then put, some AMD panels on. The issue I'm having is to get this to line up, I had to space this pretty weird. And because of the rockers, and of course I read after how those are, they're not great. So when you shut the door after putting on an AMD rocker, it hits the bottom of the door, wants to ride up. So you have to, make adjustments. And by that, I used a big ass hammer and that made the door close, but it is maxed out up here. And, to get down here, so we're gonna have to cut it off. And I'm fine with that because I did it once and I can probably do it again. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna take this off and get started doing the thing I've been doing for the past couple weeks. It's super fun. It is a shame because I got it to do that, which is for a C10 and the 67 to 72, I guess that's pretty good because these things are not great, even from the factory brand new. So, all right, well, trying to undo a bunch of hopes and dreams. Give myself a thing to bake and sweat to for the next, who knows how long. It's gonna be forever. Okay. Put all the bolts in. That's weird. Let's get my helper somewhere close. That'll do. Ow. So how you guys been? It's been a while since we've been on the C10. Doing a lot of motorcycle things. You guys have been pretty awesome with the subscribing and liking things. Reached some milestones in the old YouTubers. Not that I'm ever going to do this full time. As I've said before, oddly, I like my job. I'm one of those lucky people, I guess. So I don't have to really do a side hustle, I guess. Or try to make this my main thing. Here's where we get sketchy. Slow down, jackass. Love when it goes loose and tight and loose and tight. My God, it's loose enough to use just my hands. Nope. The socket. Oh my God, again. Oh, you four. This is gonna come crashing down at this point, isn't it? Okay. You. That's light. Ow, my spleen. Almost out of ammo. Oh no. Oh man, maybe I don't have enough room. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. So I guess, let's see what we're dealing with, because I don't know. I don't know if it's just straight Bondo, or, yeah, I mean, this can't be an original outer skin. I refuse to believe it. These things, they rot out. What the shit? Oh my God, another fly. I would have guessed for sure that there would have been signs somewhere under this body line. Because if you don't have to mess with the body line, you don't mess with the body line. So did they reskin the whole thing? It seems weird. Did they have skin? Did they have full skins for 67 to 72 C10s back in 94 or 95-ish? Just fun. What are they even looking for? Nothing in here. I guess I'm going to flip this over. And, yeah. I guess let's see what's going on the inside. Because now I face the dilemma. If this is good, you know, well, I chop it off and create more work for myself. But on that other door, when I had the whole bottom chopped off, it was a great time to get this guy up in there and get all that horrible 1960s, you know, insulation, tar, asphalt, whatever they sprayed in there. It was super convenient. But now I have to, you know, oh my, this, okay. There's all that factory stuff that needs to come out of there. Another massive, horrible offense that should be punishable by at least 7 years in prison. That, not good. But, so this seems fine. That looks, is that factory? I don't know. This right here, that's That's body filler. And there is rust. So this is, they must have reskinned this, but like good for the time. So I guess I do have to cut this off, but I can stay much lower, which is good. So this is what you get from AMD. This is the 67 to 72 inner door bottom, left hand side, made in Taiwan. I got it before tariffs. In fact, I got it around Christmas when AMD's like, hey, free shipping. I'm like, yes, because that shipping, that'll get you. So this is what this does. You know, all that. We don't need all that, but that's what you can do. If you do, I've seen some of your trucks. Some of you need up to here, and you should use it. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe above this line, and then, you know, something like that. Stay away from the hinge area because it's reinforced in there. But we'll, you know, take care of, you know, the boom booms. We'll get rid of this, you know, so dumb. And then, because, you know, that was folded over and bondoed and rusty, I'm not gonna, it won't hurt my feelings too much to cut the lower outer skin, which, you know, we got one of those too. Yeah, so I just peeled this away a little bit, and yeah. Okay, so now I definitely, and now you can see how thick that is. I don't feel bad now about taking that off. All right, well, here's this. You have to drill out a couple spot welds in there. You want to keep that. And then you have your reinforcement for the hinge. There's that stupid hole over here. So you want to keep that. You're going to want to re-weld that after, you know, you slice through because you're not paying attention. So, yeah. All right, let me get the other side marked and, you know, cut, and then we'll hang it back over there about 1,000,003 times until we get it right. Sorry about the wind noise. It is hot. All right, oh, it's another day. It's, you know, I just shut it down. but you don't need to know that, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, I got the bottom of the door cut off, and I'm going to show you what I was talking about with the spacing and the, you know, the gaps and all that stuff. Okay, come look. So this is what I had in between the, you know, the hinge and the pillar, I guess is what it's called. So that's, I mean, it's a good size, probably not ideal, but that was just to get it to work, you know, to do latchy things. So now that that's out, there is way more. I don't know if you can see with the camera. There's definitely a lot more space here, and there's room to move it, you know, to kind of help with gaps. Or, you know, I mean, it's a 68. They're not going to be great, but now you gotta get that lined up. If you cut these off because of rust reasons, or, you know, you're scraping your new AMD rocker, whatever, you got some spot welds under here on this dealie, and under here, and right here. So if you're cutting and pulling and nothing's happening, start digging around, feel for the dimples. I was so mad, I didn't even drill it. I just took I don't know where it is. It's over there. No, it's not. No, I don't see it. It's a, you know, just a, carpenters use them, little scraper multi-tool deal, and I just hammered until it yielded. So basically what we're going to do here is going to line up, yeah, the body lines as best I possibly can, and still have somewhat of a gap before we go putting the panel up to here and lining that up with down here. That makes sense. Basically, we're building a door to match the cab, and this door will never fit any other C10 ever, only this one. And I don't care, you can get your own truck and deal with your own doors. You can't have mine. So that's all I got to say about that. All right, onward. Making my way downtown, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. I'm just gonna loosen these. That's loose already. Okay, that's, there we go. This should be enough to force it. Maybe it'll stay a little bit on its own. It's all right. Maybe I gotta go looser. I don't want it too crazy because I want it to hold itself, so I have time to get back and tighten it before it sags back down. I am adjusting the right thing, right? Gotta be. Hold that, thanks. Oh yeah. Just get a hand here. Ain't not bad. Cool. I think I'm going to call that gap good enough. And it's not like, I don't want them nice. It's just, it's what we're building a patina truck, and I know what I have. What I have is a 67 to 72 C10, which out of the factory weren't that great, and they didn't care that much. They were for work, and that was about it. I think they were relatively cheap, and they were workhorses, you know, and I'm not building a show truck because we want to drive it, and I'd like it nice, but I'm not going to worry about getting all these gaps perfect. Yeah, we're not going for, you know, Riddler awards or anything over here. So anyways, gonna slap that panel up there and start taking, not measurements, because I can't measure worth a crap. I'll start just guided marks with a marker or something. When you order a lower outer skin for a C10 from Automotive Direct, this is what you get. This guy, this guy right here, and it covers a lot. Like, you know, trying to do all the work below that body line if possible. But if you got rot, come on now. I mean, it'll go up there. So it is worth the money. It is not that expensive. I can't remember how much, but you know, of course, there wouldn't be a price tag. Why would there? It doesn't make any sense. It's not a grocery store. But, you know, it's worth it. But you're going to need one of those hammer and dolly kits from the old Harbor Freights. I think it was like 35 bucks. You get a decent dolly, not that Amazon crap where you got to smooth it out yourself because it's just cast. And you got to bang all the way around. And it's 4-arm workout. Forearm. It's hard to talk now. It's so humid. I feel like everything's weighed down, including my mouth. Everything is just bad. Yeah. Well, new here. Yeah. So shipping and all. Who did that? All right, so I have a reason for why I'm doing the outside first. And, you know, it's because, quiet, it's because all this aftermarket, as I've said. So we're going to line up the aftermarket with the aftermarket. And honestly, this, I don't care. This, I don't care. We're going to, right there, we're going to get rid of it. And why would I spend the money on a full panel like this when I only need this much? Patch panels. Good metal. You know? Keep it around. I got a shelf full of stuff for the next project. You guys know you're not done after you finish your truck or whatever you're working on. There's always a next. So what I'm looking at is getting the gap under here cool. This obviously does not line up, and it's not going to matter because I just want this. So I'm going to try to mount this temporarily in a way so I can get a marker back there and get me close so I can cut probably here and then get rid of that so it slips over better, and then you can get a little bit more accurate. At least that's how I did it on the other side, and it seemed to work out okay. So I'm doing the outside first again, instead of just because I'm trying to get the shape that you're going to see. And then the inside, you can do whatever to make that work. It wasn't that bad. You just kind of slipped in over the lip and it was fine. So, all right. Yeah, I really am not using much of this, am I? That's fine. Had it lined up good enough. And that's about all I'm going to use. So I am going to cut about there for now and then fine tune. You know, yeah, it's metal. You can put it back, but if you don't have to, why make more work for yourself? I'm definitely going to lose this up to here because then it's going to wrap around there better. And I'm going to like double and triple check before I actually come anywhere near this line So there's that. I love these Milwaukee pens, by the way. Way better than a Sharpie. When you're doing anything in here, it'll write on all of it. It's awesome. It's getting rough in here. Well, you southern guys are like, that's nothing, but Midwest can hang. All right, here we go. Ear protection, because you already have to sleep with a fan on. That's my life. Too many loud exhaust systems and Metallica concerts. And death metal concerts. And too many concerts. At least for my ears. Should have, I didn't plug that in. Can I give it? Yep. All right. Let's light it up. I got that all trimmed out and kind of clamped on here. Went behind with my pen, and it was exactly the first line I put on when it was up to here. So it kind of seems like that's where it wants to go. So cool. I'm going to trim this the rest of the way out. I got to do, I don't know, like a ½ inch. I kind of stayed far away. So I'm going to get that trimmed out, get her clamped on, probably tack it, and yeah. Love when a plan comes together. So yeah, that's about what I'm looking for. So go to Harbor Freight and get you some of these things. And what this does is, if you can, yeah. So it's, do that and you slide that behind the other metal. Thought someone was walking out of my yard right now, and the only one out there is my dog, and she doesn't have thumbs, so I don't know how she'd open the gate. But anyways, and these things, they are not straight. I don't know if you can see that. And have them all go in the same direction when you're doing this. Does it make a difference? I don't know. But my brain tells me that I should have them all the same way. So maybe you're supposed to. I don't know. But I'm going to get this mounted up here, give it a final check. And then I realized I forgot my most funnest of jobs. The bestest thing ever is this. Ow, sharp. Not that. Well, here, some of this crap right here. It's covering all of this. And it's got to come out. It's horrible. It's asphalt? I don't know. Whatever it is. Yeah, sure, it falls right off where you threw a bunch of heat at it after you let it cool. But everything else, I mean, for a product that was put on 50, whatever the math is, many years ago, it doesn't really want to go anywhere. But you know when it will, is when this is all sealed up and you're going down the road and it's like, what is banging around in my door? That is when, you know, that's when it lets go. So let's get it out of there now and not worry about it. And then we can Dynamat, or I might just throw some, I don't know what. I might spray some stuff just to knock down the, you know, oil can sound that it's going to have. But yeah, so I'm going to final check. And then I got to take the door off and do some scraping. And you don't need to see that because you know what it is? It's a guy scraping stuff. That's super entertaining. And we're back. So got these on. These are nice because they hold them really straight. Now I'm going to put a bunch more on before I actually weld. This is just for that final, do I need to grind here or there type of thing. And I think I'm pretty good with it. You know, that'll close. This will come in a little bit more because you got those edges that still need to be rolled over, and that's what's keeping it pushed out a little bit in some spots, right here particularly. So account for that. You're going to have, you know, about that much more you gain when you shut the door after these are rolled, like, you know, like that. But yeah, it's about it there. And it is so hot and so gross, and I'm damp in places. So I think this is where I'm gonna call it, because the next step, I gotta get that tar crap out of there before I can weld on it anyway. And we got a holiday weekend coming up, so I'm gonna work on that Friday. You won't care, because to you, same video, won't matter. So I will do that Friday, hopefully wrap this door up Saturday, get you this out on Sunday. And it's Friday, because I desperately do not want to dig that tar crap out. I'm cleaning, procrastinating. I'm also going to get a rough trim on the inner panel, and I'm going to use what I cut off as a guide to get me close. Want to see? Let's go. See what I mean? This is, you know, it's all bent and twisted and weird, but it's going to get me close. So I'm definitely going to stay far away from the line, like, you know, here, and then fine tune as we go, like anything else. But even to get it to, you know, like mush up there and test fit things, you gotta get rid of back here because hinge. So hard to get it on the truck that way. So that's the next step. And then, you know, the tar crap. I don't wanna. So here's the rough cut, and I was gonna get all fancy and try to leave that on, but the more I'm, you know, doing this to the door, I'm thinking this is just gonna be easier to come back in later and just finish it off with that patch. And since I got a little crazy and started going in that direction anyway, let's just continue on. So yeah, 4th of July today. And well, it's a little early to be burning hot dogs. It's my legs. Hitting it with the sparklers. Time to do the thing I don't want to do. First, I'm going to get all this busted stuff out of here because, you know, it's got to go. These things are awesome for that, by the way. What are these for? Home improvement people. They seem super useful in the car world. See? Pull it out a little bit, bends that clip, lift up on it, pops out. Hooray. And then, so that's real easy, getting that out. I think, grab it with one hand here. Oh, I'm sure it's not going to go anywhere. I think, and I don't know why, I might need a new one of these. Oh no. Well, see, that's the benefit of not having the bottom on it. So it seems done. Yeah, not good. Did I mention this truck was in a fire? It was. Although I think this is just, I mean, it's 50-something years old. I don't know. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to this crap. It's that right there. I mean, this part peels real easy. That's just to lure you in. You know, you're like, yeah, this should be all right. Just scrape it a little bit and it'll all fall off. Nope. That is definitely what's not going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to get angry and you're going to inhale a lot of chemicals. And you're going to take a few years off your life, but in the end, it's going to be worth it, right? Because you won't have anything rattling around. Yoo-hoo. Yep, this will be fun. Okay, back on the truck. Got the outer skin back on, and the inside has been de-tarred, de-asphalted, whatever that stuff was. It is gone now. So I'm gonna tack those on, and then, not sure what that is, and then work on the inner. Okay, here we go. Done-ish. Weld through primer because there's still a couple holes here and there. I'm gonna, but I got to get that inside on today to finish this, this. So we'll do that, and then I'll come back and, finish up the tiny little pinholes. Right, done with the outer, except for like the very edge. I'm gonna wait till it's all rolled over, then give that a nice little tackaroony. Tackaroony's a word. I think what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna run some seam sealer right here, because I'm never gonna see this again. And then we'll start trimming this out. And the edge of the outer skin is going to determine our height. It is height. It's not height. It's not TH at the end. Why is that a thing that's happening now? It's height. Okay? I got to trim this a bit to even fit in there. AMD stuff is good. It is not perfect. So be prepared for things to not match up. You just, get the grinder out. Make adjustments where necessary. Careful not to go too far, because if you do, then you got to put it back. And it's just, you can, but it's more work and more time, and we'd rather get this nightmare sheet metal scenario over with and back to our lives, right? Right. Okay. I got a buddy who's a real estate agent, and he's selling the house right behind us. So I'm right now just picturing him with a client, and it's like, yeah, it's super quiet neighborhood. Everyone keeps to themselves. No one really makes too much noise. They're all just kind of, real quiet. Never really any type of noise issue to worry about. It's always got those ends trimmed up so it fits in the lip. Did a little smashy smash. Got her in there. All right, so now time to just trim things up, and you can tell these lines, they are not, they are not the same. So this one, it's not terrible, but I mean, this doesn't bend, camera, this doesn't bend like at all. So it's like a tack, tack, hammer, hammer, tack, hammer, in that order. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna point the fan on me so I don't die. It's getting warm again. There is progress. Have that whittled away. It, these don't match these. It's, as long as this line right here, follows, and, right here, that follows. This is way sharper than that is. It's how they stamp it. But, I mean, we got hammers, right? It'll be fine. So I'm going to run this over to the truck, put it on for the 48th time today, and confirm that everything still closes and swings around just fine. And then I'm not going to worry about that yet. And then start welding. It's like way too hot in here for welding, but yeah, confirmed. We're at 91 degrees. And as I've said before, Midwest, this is when everything inside starts shutting down. I taste copper. All right, let's just do it. Hope you guys don't mind the fan. It's all that's keeping me from collapsing into a pool of my own vomit right now. Here we go. Yeah. Crap, that's lost forever. What did I do? Why did I lift it like this? I don't know. It's way too high. I just threw it over my head for some reason. That's too far. Okay, back down. Oh, that's caught me in the... Yep. Okay. All right. Whew. What now? Oh, that's ripping my pants. These are the only good ones I got. Okay. Let's just take a rest. All right, I'm not exposed anywhere, so that's good. Okay. And nope, didn't go. Yep, okay, up. So I'd use the jack, but I don't want to put any pressure on this panel down here that's not welded on yet. So I'm gonna do it the stupid way. Why do you just keep going like, oh my God. Oh, don't you move. No. Sure, the one I go for is the one that wants to cross thread all the time. Yep. It's like I'm loose. I'm tight. Nothing happens. Let's start going. That would be good. Nope. Sure the F didn't. Focus your anger and holding the door up. Just focus it. There you go. That almost made me release my sphincter. Okay. All right, let's get another one down here. And then go think about while we're doing this. Okay, I'm good. Ooh, another day. Humid. I feel my arm hairs moving. All right, let me show you what's going on with the door. All right, so previously on, that was all. All right, so that outer lower skin done-ish, except for folding it over the edge there. Then measured this up, closed the door a few times. Everything seems fine, so I'm gonna weld that in, and then we'll finish up by eliminating what used to be speaker hole, like that side, the way it's supposed to be, not. So I get to take that damn thing off again and bring it to a place where I can start welding on it and then put it on again and finish it up. You know, the fine tuning over there on the actual truck. Okay, back to work. On and off, on and off. I don't know why my back always hurts. No idea. Can't figure it out. Switch. 1 star. Don't recommend. Ow! I guess before I do anything, I gotta drill this out for the spot welds. I know a lot of guys are using body bond now, but I mean, there's a spot weld. There's one. I'm gonna go with what the factory did because it worked for over 50 years. I'm sure it'll be fine until I'm gone. So I'm gonna do that. There's a couple I gotta pop down here and then a couple here. Make sure all the prep is ready to go. Hit the backside with the weld through primer. And then, done. Just, I want to be done. Yeah, I know it sounds like I'm bitching, but I mean, it's fun. But this has been a solid year, and I'm kind of, well, I've said before, I'm doing these videos for me, just so in 20, 30 years I can go back and see what I did and how I did it when my brain is mush and I have no recollection of anything that ever happened in my life. But also, to show you, like, realistically, if you work 50 to 60 hours a week like I do, this is the amount of time you have on a weekend to do your projects, because you also have house things. You got, you know, spouse things. If you have kids, throw that on there. If you have a dog, you have to walk the dog. You have to grocery shop. You got to cut the grass. You have to do stuff. So you don't just have, you know, your project. So realistically, how many hours do you have a weekend? 6? Maybe? 7? Maybe? This is how long it takes if you get a C10 that needs this much stuff. So you either start off way cleaner, good luck, or you kind of go this route and just commit to the fact that it will take you a year to get the sheet metal right, you know, unless you're single, in which case, enjoy yourself. Eric, you dumb asshole, you didn't use any weld-through primer. Well, I have, I just don't always show it. Seymour, since 1949. Galvanized coating, spray galv, weld-through primer 16845. If it matters, provides corrosion and salt spray resistance equal to or better than zinc rich cold galvanize. I will have you know, excellent for metal fabrication, piping, and storage tanks, railroad equipment. I mean, if it's good enough for trains, this long bitch right here is going to be just fine. Member of the AGA. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. So I'm going to spray the back of everything. All right, comment section, calm down. Okay. Cool. All right. That was my hand. You're okay with this? Okay. This is... Y'all in the comment section need some hobbies of your own. Get your own project. Jeez. But just because you don't see a thing happening doesn't mean it's not happening. This isn't a how-to, especially with the trucks. The bike stuff is more of a how-to. This stuff is me goofing off in the garage. Don't take things way too seriously sometimes. Anywho's, yes, the primer's on, all right? Everything is fine with the world. I am going to finish up this welding. And if you've decided to do a door skin yourself, I'm going to guess you know what you're doing in that department. I'm not sure if you know what you're doing with the edge, the hammering that over. Here's what you need, real quick. This bad boy right here says stuff's just falling out. What is scrap metal? I'm gonna close this so it doesn't all go everywhere. You're gonna need one of these. Go to Harbor Freight. They're like 35 bucks out the door. Door skin repair kit, MB4-1. You get these, which are actually somewhat polished. You might want to polish on them a little more. And you get this goofy looking hammer where you can get up in there. You know what I mean? And, you know, occasionally polish that back out too while you're going at it. And this is for pancakes, I think. I'm not sure what that's for, but you get it. And you're going to need that. And I'm going to finish welding up this, and then I'll show you that. And then I'm probably going to have to close the video out before the door is actually done because time. It is a cruel bitch, and it has caught up to me. And we do what we can do, right? Okay, so I'm going to finish zapping, at least to the point where, you know, it's where it's supposed to be, and I'll go back and finish it later. But I'll show you hammer dolly, and then, yeah, then we'll close this bad boy out, all right? Okay, good. All right, so I got the tack welds pretty good where this thing's not going to go anywhere. You're going to want ear protection for this next step because it sucks. As I said before, I got to sleep with a fan on already at age 45. It's only going to get worse. It's so hot. I need to take everything off. Get nude. Yeah. All right, we're back. Glove up. Get your dolly out of the kit we already discussed. And I'm going to go just back here. This is just an example. I'm going to get you guys going, and you're going to have to figure it out. I don't know what you're working on, you know? So you just go little bits. Don't try to you kink it. So little. You're gonna do that for like 78 minutes, and it's gonna make you mad. You don't really need that yet, just to get it started. But here we go. Just back and forth. You're really going to test the limits of your HOA. We're going to see how much they actually like you. It won't be as much as you think. Just And that's it, like I said, for about 78 minutes. So this feels like a time lapse type of thing, doesn't it? For your sanity and mine. So I got nothing to talk about for 78 minutes while I do this. So, and for your, what is happening out there? Oh, it's 4th of July weekend. Bye-bye fingers. It's probably what just, all right, I'm gonna time lapse. This point, this is when you're going to want to go from this to this. Use that curve to your advantage, fellers. You know, like Peronis. So that's it. You do that, and then you skip arm day. You tell them I said it's all right, because honestly, you're gonna need some stuff for your back if you don't have a proper place to work on this crap like you know, like me. So I flew. Oh. The Farman fleet, it just doesn't have the power that the O'Reilly stuff has. Anyways, I'm going to finish this up. Probably go throw up. And then, yeah, I guess we'll close this video out. Sounds like a plan. Whew, I'm beat. All right, so I just got the door back on the truck for a lot of times, and I didn't adjust anything, but it's there. I want to confirm everything is gonna be okay before I go and finish welding on it. So here it is, and look at the thing I have created. There we are. So I just threw some more weld through primer on it because I'm not done, and I gotta get to work, you know, this week, so no time to finish it. There's a lot of massaging that needs to be done because, you know, these things are different. Stock does not look like the aftermarket at all. So, you know, just some quick primer. Imagine that hole's fill, you know, that's not there. But there you go. That's outer, inner door skin on a C10. I'm about to pass out, and I hear buzzing by my ears again. I mean, the flies. So where are we this year? When I made this list, it's pretty ambitious. Doors. We're about to take that off the list, which is good. Cab. We did finish welding on the cab, so that's a good thing. Rebuild rear end. It looks like that is going to be next. Gotta get a rebuild kit. Rear shock mounts, did that. Well, panhard bar mount, I did that. This is all stuff I don't think I did on camera because it's just welding. You've all seen it. Front bring kit, need that. Rear brakes, need that, but we need the rear end first so I can get some axles in this thing. The goal is to get this thing rolling so I can get that cab on that frame and out of this little square of garage because I need to buy tools. I ain't got nowhere to put them. It's a two-carer. This thing was built for Model Ts, so it's a narrow two-car garage. So, all right, so that needs to get done. And so wheels. Stacy has the seat up in her shop, which is the spare room in the house. She's working on the upholstery, came up with a really cool design. get freaking cab on frame. Right, Jetta, subwoofer, car still ain't got no bass. Absolute worst stereo I've ever heard in all my life. In any, it's just bad. It is, and I've gotten $27 radios from a grocery store when I was a teenager. And I used to install those in Camaros all the time. And they were better than this hot trash that's in this Jetta. But I just haven't gotten to it yet. I did black out the trim. This is also stuff that wasn't, I should have recorded this stuff and put it on the, I guess not. The cruise, I did absolutely nothing here because the car never leaves. It sits there and it sits there. That's its job. But I do have to get brakes in that thing. That actually might be the next video because that's like, it's close. It's about to start grinding. So we're going to get those. Yeah, let's put a finger on that. And then I'll do the cabin filter. I've had that for like 3 years. Haven't put that in the car either. I'm terrible at things. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. Me and my finger, another fly. We're gonna get out of here. We'll see you next time. Okay, bye.